So I've been getting a lot of questions from our fellow subscribers here for some MMA content. We're going to cover ground and pound from the top position when you're an open guard, how to set up some brutal ground and pound into other positions. I want you to think about passing the guard in MMA, not in terms of jiu-jitsu, but in terms of everything that you can do with your body. You need to think more about, not just about trying to get around legs, but more about really hurting him with every chance you get, and also attacking with double attacks as many times as possible. First of all, if he wants to defend this position, he has to create some kind of frame. If he stays here, I could still hurt him. So he's got to put some kind of counter force into me to protect himself. If he raises his hips that much more, he now gives himself the ability for extra distance. So as he's framing on me, this is offering up a really good defense to kind of prevent me from getting to his head. The problem is he's actually using me for stability as well. So what I can do is kind of take away this structure like a trapdoor. He kind of falls through. I'm going to take it away, and I'm going to use my hips to kind of deflect this force that's coming right at me, turning, and then landing a shot at the same time. And you'll notice his body is coming up, I'm throwing a shot at the same time, creating that kind of head-on collision like a car crash. And I can go to both sides. Sometimes I'll actually put pressure here and then go the other way, boom, into a shot. And if I just follow his spine or the center of his body, I pretty much ensure that I'm gonna hit his head. If I try to go wild with a shot and just throw a haymaker, it's going to be very difficult. I want to make sure that I follow that straight line of his body. I'm taking away this trap door, and I'm deflecting him with my hips. So I'm just following this straight line, and from this long range, I could do a lot of damage and possibly even knock him out with one shot. There's a lot of force involved. I have a lot of space to line up his head. Boom. Landing a big shot, hurting him, and maybe even turning it into a guard pass as well. So I'm not really thinking about passing the guard, I'm thinking about smashing the guard. Now, if I'm in a closed guard position, I want to try to get the inside lane on these arms. It's not a must, but it helps me gain control a little bit. I don't want to stay back. I want to go all the way forward, almost head to head with my opponent. I'm going to use little shots to set up big shots in the form of elbows. Because I'm so close here, I'm not going to be able to generate a whole lot of power, but I'm definitely going to get his attention. So if I'm here and I'm posting up and I start landing some little shots, he's going to have to respect it enough to come on the inside of my punches. Now he's able to block and frame, and it becomes a little bit more challenging. That's exactly what I want. So as I'm on the inside going head to head, I'm going to start looking for these little shots. Eventually he's going to frame. I'm going to, with my arm on the outside, I'm actually going to pull it down to his leg, pinning it, and I'll come up and over with an elbow. When I throw the elbow, it's not just my arm that gets it done. I want to make sure that my weight is behind it, so I'm letting my hip come up and over and letting my body weight drop. I'm going to do it to the side of your head. I definitely won't do it to your head, I promise. All right, I'm throwing little shots. He gets on the inside. I'm pulling his arm down, trapping it to his leg, coming up and over, and I'm going to let my whole of my body drop down as I throw an elbow. I can do it to both sides. Boom, boom. Pin it down. Drop it, coming up and over. Again, all of my weight is here. Right? It's not these, right? If I just did this, that would hurt just from that short range. So I'm kind of winding up, coming up and over with my elbow, opening up my hand so I can really utilize a devastating elbow. Elbows can cut, elbows can knock you out. So it really is a tool that causes a lot of chaos during a mixed martial arts fight. Yet another range is one where I'm in half guard. So you notice I'm getting a little bit closer as I go. I'm trying to show at least 3 different ranges that you guys can use to practice this ground and pound. As I'm in this position, okay, I want to look to try to trap an arm. I'm going to trap this inside arm. If he's looking to try to get on his side, I'm gonna kind of back up, I'm gonna frame on his hip, and I'm gonna look for hooks and shots here. I can look for hooks if he's doing a good job of blocking, right? I can come up and over the top and utilize hammer fist. I kind of want to be relentless in the fact that I'm not necessarily trying to knock him out, or I'm not being so aggressive or overly aggressive. I'm just giving him different looks. If I'm just doing one thing, he's going to figure out a way to stop it, right? So I want to kind of show him different looks, different shots to try to create some chaos. If I can get a hold of either his wrist or the inside of his arm, I'm not just using my hand to grip and grab. I'm not trying to get into an arm wrestling match. I'm trying to use my weight to pin it. Can you move that arm out of the way? Okay, now the inside of his body. So now all of my weight is traveling from my shoulder, or most of my weight is traveling from my shoulder down through my wrist and into my hand, sandwiching his arm between my hand and the mat. Now I can frame on his hips, controlling his hips, and I can utilize my knee to land shots to his body. If you're getting on the side of your hip, this is going to land with a lot of power and accuracy, just going into the center of his body. This is probably going to get him to go flat on his back. I can then utilize this frame to trap. Can you sweep me over there, please? No, it's getting pinned. So that frame is now dominated by my shin. I'm turning into a lever, and now I can kind of tee away with more shots or get close to control and beat up with elbows and short shots. There's 3 different ranges that you guys can practice this ground and pound. And again, don't think about, if you're coming from a jiu-jitsu background especially, don't think about passing the guard. Think about smashing the guard and utilizing all the tools and all the strikes that you have in your arsenal.
Man, I'm sure glad I don't owe you money.
About that. Now we're gonna do the real thing.